Hello everyone, this is part 20 of What If Naruto Had a Hug That Changed Everything, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. It was ridiculous. In a matter of minutes, everything suddenly went to hell. At least, those were the exact thoughts running through Sakura's head as she witnessed the massive ninja clash before her. Almost everyone had fallen under a masterfully executed genjutsu, and for all she knew, the Hokage could be brutalized and swimming in a pile of his own feces. Of course, that last thought disgusted her to no end. The important thing now was figuring out the reason behind this attack and staying alive long enough to do it. Eventually, there was one important clue to add to the list of reasons. Orochimaru, the same F who attacked Sakura and her team in the Forest of Deaths. Something inside of her was screaming that it had something to do with Sasuke, and it worried her greatly. Of course, she could spend the time she had worrying when she was out of the danger zone. Without warning, Kakashi blocked an incoming kunai knife that was on K-point with the genin's face. Sakura, the silver-haired copy nin, called out with his back turned to her, gaining an immediate response, "You must wake Naruto and Shikamaru." Ha! You were able to see through the illusion perfectly. Seen as how you excel in that department, it's no wonder you haven't fallen victim. But Naruto and Shikamaru are another story. Dispel the genjutsu and wake them. You must follow the Sand siblings, Kakashi said as he kept a careful eye out for incoming enemy strikes. Why you want us to track them? Sakura asked. Yes, Sasuke has already gone ahead. You can assist him when you catch. So wake those two and get going. Besides, Naruto should be happy about this one. This will be his first mission in a long time. What? AA mission? That's right, an A-ranked mission, he said. Normally this would be quite a shock for Sakura, but I think we all know why she kept her cool about it. Okay, I'm going. Good luck, Kakashi-sensei, Sakura said. Hold it, Kakashi intervened, stopping the pink-haired female where she was as he lifted a Shappa kunai to his thumb. They have probably staved pretty far ahead. You may need some assistance. The Sharingan warrior drew blood from his thumb and performed several hand seals, Kuchio's no jutsu. He barked before placing his hands upon the back of an unconscious villager, resulting in the appearance of Kiru-class summoning symbols and smoke. When the smoke cleared, a little brown dog with blue vest and blue Konoha headband appeared. Most notable thing about it is that it looked positively stoned. Sakura pointed at the thing. Kakashi-sensei. What's with the little pug? She asked in genuine confusion. Hearing what the girl had just said, the pug made his way over to her, hopping from person to person until he was in her face. Hey little girl, don't even think about calling me a cute little doggy. Or, pug as you so humbly put it. It spoke with a surprisingly fluent and deeply toned voice. Though not particularly surprised by the dog actually talking, Sakura's face fell a bit. I never said anything about being cute, she thought. Sakura, meet Pakken. He will be aiding you in your search. Now quit wasting time. Wake Naruto and Shikamaru so you can get going, Kakashi demanded. Hi, Sakura responded before dropping to her knees and elbows, crawling out from under the and up the cement stairs where Naruto and Shikamaru slumbered. Approaching Naruto first, she held the proper hand seal. Kai, she said before moving her hand down to tap upon the boy to dispel the jutsu. However, before Sakura actually managed to touch him, his hand shot up and clasped upon her wrist, gaining a surprised gasp from her. I'm awake, Sakura, Naruto responded in a serious S-pan tone. The blonde genin released his teammate's wrist and rose to a kneeling position. Naruto. You were awake this whole time? Sakura asked with amazement. Naruto growled with adversity. Yeah. When I heard Kakashi-sensei and Guy-sensei talking amongst themselves, I released the illusion myself, and I heard every word. So Orochimaru's behind all this, is he? He asked while maintaining his fierce demeanor. Why yeah. Do you know what we're supposed to do? She asked just to make sure. Surprisingly, Naruto smiled, but it wasn't his usual foxy grin that he plastered, no. This was the smile that told the world that he craved some action. Yeah, Sensei was right about one thing. I am excited. Our second A-ranked mission in a row. It's such a thrill, he said before his eyes widened greatly and his smile disappeared. Without warning, he forcefully pushed Sakura away and reflexively caught the handle of an incoming kunai between his fingers before immediately throwing it back at the Oto attacker, impaling him right between the eyes. Letting out a scream of anguish, the Oto nin stumbled back before tumbling over the edge of the audience roster. Seeing the entire thing, Sakura stared at her savior in amazement and even more admiration than before. Out of. Thanks, Fox. Ha. For what? If it weren't for this summoning pact, things would be Lukyong very bleak right about now, but I can see things a lot clearly now. Oh, don't kid yourself and don't thank me. Remember, it was your sheer stupidity that made the summoning pact, not I. So keep your meaningless thank yous to yourself, brat. Well, excuse me. Arigato, she said through her dazzled haze. Don't worry about it, Naruto said before growling angrily while glancing to all of his sides. Kuso. They're everywhere. The stadium, the gates. Everywhere. I can feel it. Orochimaru, that bastard. Catching Sakura's attention from the side was a slumbering Shikamaru. She had almost forgotten about the lazy F, but she crawled to his side and was prepared to release the illusion. However, Naruto called out to her. Ah, Sakura, don't bother. That bum is so not asleep, he said with a comically knowing scowl. What? How can you tell? Sakura asked. Naruto cranked his head to his teammate. Are you serious? Just look at him, he said while pointing a finger at the aforementioned bum, lying on his side. Doing as she was told with interested, Sakura peered down at Shikamaru for only 2 freaking seconds before she noticed his eyebrow twitching. The pink-haired kunoichi plastered the same comical scowl as Naruto did. He was right, he's not asleep at all, she thought dryly to herself. Out of nowhere, Pakken steadily walked up behind Shikamaru's leg and calmly chomped upon it like it was a natural for of greeting. Silence ensued. They all remained still for a few seconds until the sleeping Shikamaru shot up into a sitting position, screaming bloody and swinging his leg up and down tried to shake the leech off of his limb, much to Sakura's irritation. MMYYYYYLEEEEEEEEG, he roared. Shikamaru, you were faking it, ya jackass, Sakura said. The raven-haired strategist pulled Pakken off of his leg and rose to a kneeling position as well, holding the little pug while idly toying with his face. Oh, spare me. I was only faking it because you guys really don't even need me along. I don't want to get involved, he said while pulling hard upon Pakken's cheek. Sakura fumed at this guy's laziness. We might need your smarts to help us find Sasuke-kun, you know that, she said. Yeah, and like I said not 5 seconds ago, I don't want to get involved. I don't care about Sasuke, he said before releasing the cheek he was pulling. With his natural passive aggressiveness, Pakken calmly crunched his jaw upon his pincher's hand. Quote. MMYYYYYHAAAAANNNNND, Shikamaru bellowed in pain, flinging his said limb in the air with the little brown dog flailing up. Sakura growled and frowned and was about to protest further until Naruto interloped. We don't have time to worry about it, Sakura. Let's just get to it. We've no time to spare, he said. From out of nowhere, an Oto nin came singing into the wall behind all of the genin, bursting a cloud of dust. They all turned their attention to see Guy with his fist lodged in the enemy's ribs, pinning him against the wall. FF and fast, he gurgled. The green-clad Junin smirked. Hey. Not just fast, he said before pushing the unfortunate soul so hard that he flew past his concrete obstacle. As the 3 genin ordered that feat for only a moment, Kakashi appeared. Alright you 4. You are now tasked to carry out an A-ranked mission. When I give you the full details, you will exit through that hole. You must find Sasuke, he has already gone ahead to track the Sand siblings. Once you catch up with him, you will retreat into a safety area and await further instructions. Is that clear? Kakashi said. Naruto and Sakura, hi. Shikamaru, up yours ya crack find, sure. Without another word, Sakura dashed away and readied herself to jump out of the large hole as instructed but noticed that Naruto hadn't joined her. She looked back to see the blonde staring at Kakashi's back with aggravation. Naruto, let's get a move on, Sakura said. No response. Sensei. What is it, Naruto? Kakashi responded with mild annoyance that he hadn't gone already. The red-jacketed genin frowned. Are you positive that there's nothing me or Sakura can do to help out? He asked while inwardly knowing the response. Naruto. You have your mission. That should be your prime concern, the masked nin said, gaining no response from Naruto. Besides, it would be best if you two not stay here. We can't be worried for the safety of you two. It was at those words. It was at those cold and depraving words that something inside Naruto's mind snapped wide open. With only a look of mild contempt on his face, the blonde boy turned around and walked toward the previously made hole before stopping. I guess you have a point, but just remember this, sensei, he began. Kakashi slightly turned his head. Quote. You have more than one student, he said before forming a familiar hand seal, Taiju Kage Bushin no Jutsu. With those words, the entire inside and outside stadium was swarmed with battle-ready shadow clones, much to the unwavering shock of Kakashi, who had to admit that he had never seen so many formed at once. You all know what to do, Naruto commanded before dashing out of the immediately area with Sakura in one arm. Clones. Yosh. With that finally roar, the Bushins vanished in the newly acquired speed, further surprising the F out of Kakashi, whose eye widened. Even he had to admit that he may have missed out on something very important during his time training Sasuke, but he had bigger things worry about right then. Rushing to aid his comrade, Guy, he suddenly stopped when an Anbu appeared before them. Kakashi and Guy stopped and looked at this new situation. Hey. What are you doing? Hokage-sama needs your help, Guy yelled. The ANBU merely held up the Tora, tiger, hand seal before he was suddenly accompanied by a squadron of Oto Nin. Damn it, what a shame, Kakashi commented. I never would have expected the enemy to disguise themselves as an Anbu, Guy added. Yeah, he's the one. I'm sure he's the one who set off the illusion. As the enemy shinobi stared off against their Junin foes, the ANBU spoke. Follow them, he said. What? You mean kids? What's the point? It's not like genin of that level can do anything, one of the Ototnin said. Without really responding, the ANBU relieved a card from within his black robe, revealing it to be Naruto's ninja info card. It displayed Naruto's current guesstimated strengths and improvements, along with an updated picture of his new appearance. HN, so that's the Uzumaki kid's data, huh? Are you sure he's a genin? I mean, well, the Oto Nin said in slight astonishment. The ANBU smiled from under his mask, yes. His power has seemed to take a sudden jump. He certainly didn't waste his time during his month of training, he said. Hey. Sudden jump or not, it looks like you're overrating the little s. HN. And you're underestimating him greatly. Something tells me that doing that in battle with him at this point would be a fatal mistake. Outside of Konoha gates, Naruto, Sakura, Shikamaru and Pakken were hurriedly dashing through the forest on their hunt for Sasuke. With Pakken up front and the others right behind them, the squad hauled all sort of ass to accomplish this mission. Of course for Sakura, the unfairness of it all was really pissing her off. Here she was, about to finally set things right with Naruto after the Chunin exams had ended and bam, this happens. It was as though bad things only happened to her, not that she don't deserve it. Oh sure, she could just turn her head to the side, call his name and then pour her soul out to him, but thanks to a recent experience, she knows a lot better than that. NGH. Why did it have to happen now? I was so gonna do it. I really was. So why did this have to happen, of all times, damn it, she accidentally cursed. Pakken, Shikamaru and Naruto shot curious stares at their female companion, whose face became a light shade of red. Oh sorry. Just thinking about how much of a hassle this is, Sakura lied, while telling the truth simultaneously. Shikamaru sighed. Finally, someone speak in my language, he said. Well, hassle or not, we have our orders. Let's hurry and hope that Sasuke doesn't get too hasty, Naruto said. He's right, Pakken began. Our main priority is find Sasuke and stop him from doing anything incredibly stupid. Besides, sniff, sniff. It looks as though we're being followed. Followed? Sakura questioned. He's right. There are 8 of them. No. 9. And they're fast, Naruto said. The little brown nin dog looked ahead and silently thought to himself, well, maybe there's more to this kid than I originally thought. He really doesn't fit the part, but maybe. Hey kid. What's your name? He asked out of curiosity. Naruto unwittingly scowled, although I hardly think it's the ideal time to be asking me such useless questions. It's Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki, he said. Though Pakken didn't receive the answer he was looking for, he smiled anyway. Uzumaki, so he's not from the Inuzuka clan, he thought. Enough of this. We have to hurry, Naruto declared. Seeing the intense and oh so familiar look in his eye, painfully reminded Sakura of how madly focused he becomes when a mission is afoot. Yeah, I know exactly what he'd say at a time like this. I'll keep it to myself for now, and focus on the task at hand, she thought while simultaneously trying to ignore the fact that Naruto looked as though something else was bothering him. Surprisingly not too far from the scout was the ominous Kuro, idly thinking to himself as he waited for the opportunity he's been aching for while standing upon a large cliff and staring into the forest below. How very, very boring. I often wonder why I don't join my wonderful students in their tasks. I suppose it's the least I can do after not being able to see them for 20 long years. Perhaps I should join them after all. And what's this? Kuro said when something caught his attention. Oh, Naruto-kun. He's on the move with several of his friends. Perhaps I can stay after all, since he's already on the move. Don't disappoint me. Naruto-kun, he said before looking up into the sky. There's a storm coming. Kuro breathed a refreshing sigh to himself. It's been such a long time since I was able to enjoy the feeling of truly living. 20 years trapped inside of a blasted rock is more than I can bear. It's good to be among this plane of existence again. The feel of the wind, the sound of nature. Yes, it's all coming back to me. And now I can continue my reign of terror. Admittedly, I have already hit Konoha, giving me just the pick-me-up I needed, and because of that I will leave its people in peace for the time being, but I'm far from finished with Hai no Kuni. Perhaps I can pay a visit to the other towns when I'm finished here, he conversed with himself before sighing again. Kuro closed his eyes and immediately drifted into a peaceful slumber while standing with his arms crossed, awaiting his time to remind everyone who even had the audacity to forget his face. Who the true terror is. Massive time skip. Deep within the forest, Sasuke Uchiha was facing off with his fiercest enemy yet. Sitting against the trunk of a tree while resting upon its branch. He had just managed to barely survive his altercation with a half-transformed Subaku no Gaara, also standing upon a branch, who was glaring ravenously at him. Sasuke realized as he fought, that he had wasted his advantages. Since he never really had a chance to show his Chidori during the exams, he had more than enough chakra to last him a while, but the monstrous Gaara had proven to be far more formidable than originally intended, forcing him to use the slight Chidori twice, his limit. If he pushed too hard, then the curse mark on his end could react. That was too risky. Kuso. I never imagined that he would be this powerful. Son of AB, where's your weak point? You're 10 times stronger than you were before, your speed, your power. What am I supposed to do? Sasuke fretted in his current situation as Gaara roared his insults and put-downs. Uchiha, has the truth of your weak existence compared to mine finally opened your eyes? Gaara yelled with his now monstrous voice. Is that why you don't attack me, Sasuke Uchiha? Are you afraid of my EXISTENCE? Or do you finally realize why you're so weak? Sasuke tried frantically hard to focus on what he should do about his current situation while simultaneously getting angry by Gaara's words. He had tried everything and it had little to no effect at all. Yes, that's right. That's why you can never win against me. Your hatred, it's weak. Your thoughts are far too soft and forgiving. Do you understand? Shut up, Sasuke warned. Your existence is meaningless compared to mine. And that is why you must die. Gaara roared before leaping off of the branch he stood on, charging at Sasuke. You're wrong, the raven-haired genin declared before forcefully activating his Chidori. He chose to me. He let me live for the sole purpose of killing him, and I won't here. I am an Averger. With a massive intent to end this fight, Sasuke returned Gaara's charge. However, given the fact that he pushed too far, his Chidori weakened greatly before the gigantic clash of power that ensued. With both fighters landing on opposite branches back to back, Gaara's arm slowly oozed off of his person yet maintained the strength to stand. Sasuke was another story. The boy was half covered with the symbols of the curse mark, his Sharingan activated. He had used far too much chakra, slowly keeling over and coughing before collapsing on his stomach. No, I think I may have overdid it completely, he inwardly cringed. Almost immediately restoring his lost demon arm, Gaara turned back around to face his fallen opponent before reinitiating the charge with the initiative to finally K his worthy prey. However, the moment that the monstrous cretin came within a foot of Sasuke, a black-sandaled foot viciously crashed into the human side of his face, sending him flying the exact way he came. Thing is, that really effin' hurt. Gaara roared in pain and discomfort before catching himself upon the same tree branch that he launched from. He looked up and saw a familiar shade of black and red along with a mop of wild shaggy blonde hair. He growled as the boy landed upon a tree brush, glaring at him monster with righteous fury. Not far behind, Sakura and Pakin appeared at the fallen Uchiha's side. Sasuke-kun, Sakura cried. The stare-off between Gaara and his attacker continued, the half-demon's face lifted with sudden remembrance. I recognize you, he said with rageful malice, yes. You're the one who has also demonstrated great strength. Uzumaki. Naruto. Re-he-he-he-hey. What are you doing here? Despite the blazing situation and his hidden nervousness, Naruto smiled, keepin' ya nice and docile before I kick your little ass, he snarked, causing Gaara to smile maniacally. Still, why do I get the feeling that I recognize him? Sasuke-kun. You're hurt, Sakura said as she got a load of the work Gaara made of her raven-haired teammate, slightly grimacing at the sight of the curse markings on half of his body. He probably got too careless, like the last time. Naruto continued to stare at his dreadful opponent with the itching feeling that he knew him from somewhere. Are you Gaara? He asked, not too sure of himself. When he resheathed a far more menacing smile, the blonde boy hardened his expression. I knew it. What the hell happened to him? He thought before he heard a loud gasp from what appeared to come out of nowhere. Out of. ICHIBI. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Ika what? I knew I recognized the scent emanating from that little S. So Ichibi was actually caught like I was. Okay, what are you gloating about? Who the hell is Ichibi? Sigh, don't you know anything, you simpleton? Ichibi no Shukaku, ya no, the one-tailed Biju of the sand. Come on Kit, I thought you've grown smarter. Well, excuse me for being curious. Wait. Are you saying that this Gaara has a demon inside of him? Well, do you see many humans who look as hideous as that? I should say not. Quote. I didn't know that. What's the matter? Don't tell me you're scared, Kit. As you can see, the event where Naruto met Gaara for the first time never happened in this story. Probably should have told you that ahead of time. Out of. Naruto was silent. He truly didn't expect to see someone who shared a similar curse as he did. Even though Gaara was harboring a sinister smile, the blonde genin stared into both of his eyes. Despite the difference in appearance, Naruto saw a deep-seated and well-hidden pain within them. In truth, Naruto thought it impossible to comprehend another being such as himself. The scenario just didn't seem plausible to him. And yet, here he was. Quote. Ichibi, Naruto said out of the blue, catching Gaara off guard and Sakura's attention. So it's true. You have a demon inside you, don't you? At this, Gaara shook his mild surprise and reformed his smile. How did you know that? Tell me, I'm curious, he growled as he began to drool furiously. Naruto lowered his head, darkening his eyes behind his hair. My heart aches. Why does my heart ache? He said as he lifted his hand to his chest in a vain attempt to settle the growing pain. Hey, why don't you answer? How did you know? Gaara roared with his intent to K rising as he stared ravenously at the boy. What happened next shocked even Gaara. Naruto lifted his head to look at the half-demon, with fresh tears falling down his face. His expression wasn't happy nor was it fearful, it was sad, so very sad. Naruto continued to stare at Gaara with that same expression with his tears falling like hell. At this point, something came over him. It was a feeling of sadness that he had not experienced before. He looked at Gaara unwaveringly. He stared him in his eyes, soaking within the lonely pit of darkness that filled them. The agony, the torment. He saw it all within those eyes. A pain of which he knew very much so. His tearful stare didn't and it confused the hell out of Gaara. Why do you shed your tears? What are you crying for? The Jinchuriki yelled. Since Sakura only saw his back, she was fairly shocked to hear that from the monster of an opponent, crying. Why is he crying? She thought to herself while growing mysteriously sad herself. At first, Naruto was silent, but decided to answer his enemy's question with another question. Gaara. Why do you want to kill Sasuke so badly? He asked somberly. At this, Gaara laughed maniacally, an existence that is capable of making me feel truly alive, that is what I desire. Sasuke Uchiha shall provide me that satisfaction and your intrusion will be your undoing, fool. Naruto's tears ceased their flow but remained stained upon his cheeks as he suddenly hardened his expression. You won't stop, will you? Unless you kill Sasuke, you won't stop this senseless rampage, Naruto said as an acknowledgement more than a question. Gaara merely smiled again, causing Naruto to tense until 3 blood vessels showed upon his forehead as he clinged his fists until his knuckles crack. Then you leave me no choice. Gaara, Naruto said, I won't allow you to harm someone precious to me. All of a sudden, the center of the black-clad boy's body began to burn a little. It was a quick and stinging sensation that made him flinch a little at the pain. A jolt of energy suddenly coursed through and before he knew it, his body slowly and steadily began to emanate dark purple chakra. This alien feeling was not natural at all, but what freaked him out the most was that he wasn't responsible. Naruto closed his eyes trying to compose his thoughts. Out of. KQB. What? Don't even think about getting used to this, Kit. Used to what? What have you done? I'm not positive I understand what effects this will have, but I'm pouring my chakra into the very flow of your own. I wasn't even aware I could do this until now. What are you saying, QB? I thought I could only tap into your power when I was running on empty. Hey, first off, I lend you my chakra, you insect. Second, it may have something to do with. Don't tell me. The summoning pact. Yeah, that's not important right now. The only reason I'm doing this is because this is something that I simple cannot miss. 2 Jinchuriki fighting it out. I warn you though, this will be the last time I do something this nice for you ever again. Got that, face. HM. Thanks QB. I knew you loved me. He. You arrogant little. Out of. Sakura watched in pure awe and amazement at Naruto at that moment. Not only was the chakra he emanated totally different from anything she had ever seen or heard of, but she could actually feel his power. It brought forth an array of different sensations. It was frightening to no end, yet intoxicating all the same. It was mind-boggling like mad, but exciting in multiple ways. The pink-haired female had never seen Naruto like this before and something inside of her told her that she needed to move away, but she was genuinely mesmerized. Naruto, her thoughts wandered in amazement. Temari, who was hiding within the sidelines, was just as amazed as Sakura. Where is this chakra coming from? I've never felt something like this before, she thought before turning a surprisingly worried glance to her mutated brother. Gaara. With his power temporarily anew, Naruto glared at his opponent readily. Let's begin. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.